Witchery within his Infernal Majesty's service. Now, this band is going to sound a little bit reminiscent to the last review that we did, which was Destroyer 666's Wildfire from earlier this year. This is a thrash metal band that has black and death metal hybrids that sort of encounter it as well. However, unlike the Destroyer 666 disc, which really had a little bit more of a black bass that had just thrash metal sort of interlaced within it, this is one that starts off purely with the thrash metal, and really the only time where you really get the black and death metal feel is mainly a death metal feel, and it's within some of the compositions and also within the gruffness of the vocals that are delivered. This is a band that is one that has some pretty elegant membership that has some ties to bands such as The Haunted or Arch Enemy. They also have a brand new singer who is a relative unknown, but makes his presence felt on this album immediately, and it's just in the power of his performance, so he's a rising star. Now, this is an 11-track affair, and unlike Destroyer 666, which was able to go into the realm of 6 and 7 minute long cuts, this is one that hovers closer to the 3-minute range, with the longest tracks being 4 minutes and 23 seconds and 4 minutes and 6 seconds, respectively. Most songs are going to go 3 to 3.5 minutes, and that's about it, with some even just going to the 2.5 range. And what you get here is the power of the vocal that is swirling around these guitars. And really, whenever you consider the membership of Witchery, considering they do have roots within Arch Enemy, roots within The Haunted, really roots within something where speed is a technical blessing that they do possess, then this is where the thrash metal side of Witchery really showcases itself in bold and dynamic fashion. They are basically playing these blistering numbers and just giving this framework for some just excellent bass tracks. And, you know, this vocalist is just doing everything in his power to not only keep up, but also maintain a level of intensity throughout each and every one of these 11 tracks, and he's able to pull it off. That's why it is a really good first showing for this vocalist within the band's ranks. It's one where he was able to really stay with the group as opposed to feeling a bit out of place. They made a great choice. Now, whenever you get to the very first cut, Leviathan, or Leviathan, it is certainly showcased a bit that they have some tongue-in-cheek humor. They're willing to play around with song titles and with lyricism just a little bit while still maintaining the veneer of a group that has a lot of aggression and a lot of that anger and hate and, you know, misanthropy, loving the occult and dealing with it in a way that will make most metal fans a bit giddy. Netherworld Emperor is another track that showcases this, and really what you get is very much a simulacrum with each and every song. You have a very aggressive start that typically goes into aggressively sung verses, then have a either choral or a middle portion that has a little bit of a change to it, with a guitar solo sometimes coming near the end of the cut, and these are blistering. The pace is just amplified really by what these solos are able to maintain. The funny thing about this album is the fact that there are so many riffs that are sort of being contained within each and every track. They're really trying to do a little bit more sometimes than maybe they have to. It actually makes the songs feel a lot longer than they actually are. So a 3.5 minute long track might feel like it's actually spanning 5 or 6 minutes, which traditionally, whenever you have that issue, is a bad thing because that means that the songs are dragging. But in this case, it's actually a good thing because it shows the sort of wide range that this band has at their disposal and their willingness to dip into that pot with each and every track that they put out. They are not holding anything back. They are not pulling any punches. Instead, they are going direct and they're going for the jugular and they're hitting it every single time. The only thing that I would really say about this album, or really about Witchery in general, is that Simulacrum does get a little bit predictable, and notably so because of that. This isn't your album of the year style material, but instead this is a band and an album that showcases just what can happen whenever you have a core of great musicians. The drumming on this album, by the way, is ridiculously good. It's something that the middle portion of this album really is where the drumming shines, and tracks such as, I would say, Gilded Fang or even Empty Tombs really showcase that really, really well. Some of the fills that you get are just nuts, and he has his own history to really go off of, but still, he's a guy that's, a lot of people aren't going to know this name, so look it up whenever you get the opportunity and sample some of his other work. But this is also an album where, despite that simulacrum really shines in the fact that it doesn't take itself completely serious, it's a band and an album that has a lot of character to it. So it does give that a nice friendly boost. This is their first album in 6 years. I think it's a good return to form. They've had a lot of lineup changes. That's not hindered them whatsoever. The aggression really works to their advantage. And this is another band within this sort of hybridized rank that is showing just what heavy metal can accomplish whenever you use a little bit of ingenuity, but also whenever you stick with some bare bones basics. 83, no, you know what, 83 seems like an insult. 84 out of 100 for this one. Definitely an album that needs to be consumed, but one that also has the shortcomings of some of the expectations that perhaps you get after a 6-year wait, and also the fact that you start to learn the formula, which means that creatively it does need to expand its horizons a little bit. But I want to know what you guys think about this Witchery album. Let me know in the comments below. My name is coverkillernation. We're going to probably be talking about some lower key names, names that should be rising to the surface as opposed to mired in the underground within the next month. So definitely stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely like this video if you enjoyed it. It definitely helps out. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Hey guys, thanks for viewing this video. If you want to see other album reviews from 2016, scope out the link to your left. The link to your right has some other stuff that I've done. I don't even know what it is yet, but you should check it out. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out my Patreon. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.